channel.
Good.
We should be live now.
All right.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, Renato Tavares.
Tá,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, muito prazer. Nice to meet you. I'm
Nice to
learning
Portuguese.
Brazilian Portuguese. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Portuguese from Portugal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Is
different.
that what it sounded like? What I said?
No,
Oh, okay. It's different, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Muito diferente or no?
Muito diferente. É.
Muito
Não muito, tem diferenças.
Yeah, yeah. Is that how you say it though? Muito diferente?
Muito diferente. É.
All right.
It's not muito. Diferente.
Oh, just say diferente.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, no muito. Okay, yeah.
It's not a lot.
É mesmo. No mesmo. Is that right?
Mesmo. Não é o mesmo.
If I said same, it's
Yeah,
mesmo.
yes, yes.
See, I'm getting it.
He's getting there.
I'm a pretty good mimic. Yeah, I can pull it off. So you are a Carlson Gracie black belt.
Yes.
You got your black belt in 95, is that correct?
About 96.
96.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you started at Teresópolis.
Yeah, I start 1974. Yeah.
So here's what I found out about you. It said your doctor said that you because you have breathing problems.
Yes.
Your doctor recommended.
Yeah,
that you.
the city
have
was
physical
cold,
activity.
and then I start swimming. But when I get the winter time, it's pretty cold. And then we went back to the doctor, and it's like, oh, do jiu-jitsu. I have this gym here. It's very like a kids oriented. Like you want to make sure like it's building a character, not just a martial art. And then I started doing because the doctor said to start doing some activity, and then put him in jiu-jitsu.
So here's what the way I read it was, his doctor told him and advised him and all this. And then I looked at the years, and you're roughly my age. You were born in '69, so you were 5 years old.
68.
You were born in '68.
Yeah,
So were you
6
six when you started?
Yes.
Yeah. So I imagined you sitting in the doctor's office at 6 years old, and your doctor's advising you to get some physical
It
activity.
wasn't. I advised my mom, not me.
Yeah, exactly. So I misunderstood at first, but yeah. So you started early.
Yes.
And who was there at the academy that you?
Geni
learned at?
Rebelo and Elias Martins was my first two instructors. They trained under Gracies in Rio.
Okay, yeah,
Geni moved there, was training for them in Rio, and then they moved to Teresópolis, opened the academy as Serrana Academy, and it's pretty close to my parents' work. I was going there pretty much every day, and it's good to see how jiu-jitsu from that time to now grow, because it was a small gym, little thing, maybe few people know about. In 74, like everything exploded in the Royce Grace fought. Before it was like kind of, not a lot of people know about jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, so the American understanding of jiu-jitsu is we saw it for the first time ever with Royce, I think, was in the UFC. And there's all these different theories about how it happened and what happened. And you were kind of there at ground zero in Teresópolis.
Yes.
So did you train under, like, Elio at all? Was he there
No,
at that time? Or was he gone?
my instructor training under Elio and Carson and Carlos in Rio. But when I start training with them. I never was able to train with them. I trained with the under Gracie families after '88 when I moved to Rio and started training with Carson Gracie.
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. A lot of people think that jiu-jitsu was in the early days that there was no other jiu-jitsu in Brazil other than Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Is that correct?
No, they have other Gracie.
There was
yes.
Luta Libre, or what was it called?
Yeah, have a Luta Libre, but Jiu-Jitsu has other lineage that people doesn't know that have have the same time. They learn it under Gracies and start spreading here and there. But of course, by that time, everything was coming from Gracies,
Yeah.
They even have a house in Teresópolis. The Gracie family has a house in Teresópolis that kind of was the main house that a lot of people, those sons and brothers, went there to training and grow, and then after it started spread in Rio, and it started spread around. But the main thing started in Rio and Teresópolis when they have the main stuffs, and then after it started spreading.
So how old were you the first time you competed?
I was 79. 1979
you were
was 11 years old. Yeah, 10 years old.
11 years old, 10 years old. And what was the belt system for kids at that time? Because right now
it was the same as the yellow. Like right now they add more, but yellow, orange, green, and then blue.
Why do you think they've added more?
I think they added more because when I start as a young age, it's like 6 years old, all the way to be able to move to blue belt now is 16 years old.
Yeah,
it's a long time, and sometimes like people want to see progress, and then I think they add to be able to see, have this belt, that belt, and then if you start old age as 12, maybe they're gonna move faster, but as young age, it's good to see progress. You know, like you have those.
So they
gray
refine the system based on
Yes.
people's general reactions. You don't think that's an American influence?
Probably a little bit, like turning them a little bit, like it's a business
immediate
side too.
gratification.
Yeah, you know, they need people want to see progress. Like in judo in the past doesn't have it was white and black belt.
Yes.
The old lady was white. And then,
Yeah, that's amazing.
and then after I think they give something that you can see steps, you know, you see progress and then improvement, go to the next level.
Yeah.
And then for kids, they need to do this, I think, because to motivate them, they see they have it gain something, but it is a little bit more commercial things like, but I think it's important right now in the society. People see they move and they have like they know how we're gonna move.
They can see it, yeah, and then they see those little milestones.
Yes.
Yeah, it's helpful for sure. So the first time we saw it, you had already been in it for quite a while. This is in '92. Was when was the first UFC? I think it was '92 or something.
91,
92.
92,
92. And it was actually Horion who started it, right?
Yeah.
And then they used there's a lot of people say that it was they chose Hoyce over Hickson because he was a better example of a regular person being able to defeat these big athletic competitors.
Yeah, like that way we always have histories, like people talking about
Right.
what's going on. Maybe
But you were
about
there.
more business side too, you know. Maybe one is for more money. They wanted to.
Okay.
And then in the family, inside the family, we don't know what's going on. Like sometimes they have this kind of stuff because I remember when I have a Royce versus Walid in Brazil. Royce supposed to fight there too, but money wise, promotion stuff, they kind of
Didn't work.
like they do. You know,
Yeah, there's a lot of disputes early on, and even now I think too, right? Yeah, like
how we used the name when it was in U.S. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of.
Well, there's a quote. There's a great Hickson quote. He said, "My daddy raised 7 Indians and no chiefs. Or 7 chiefs, no Indians." That's it. Yeah.
When I
Everybody wants their thing.
pick a name on.
So your style of jiu-jitsu, Carlson Gracie, very powerful, fundamental style, would you say, or how would you describe it?
I think that the Carson Grace is a lot of pressure, you know, pass.
Yeah.
And my old school, there was like when I started there in Serrana Geni, is a lot of fundamentals, like basic stuff. So work on that to make sure you get the other things. You know, all the time when I'm teaching or do seminars, I say like always controlling before position, control before submission. Not everything comes from fundamentals.
Yeah.
If you have good fundamentals, you're going to be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
And then I always reinforce the fundamentals, and then from there we work in the other stuff. But Carson Grace is a lot about pressure, you know, pass, but I have opportunity to training inside the Carson Grace in other schools that have people that have a guard game. There's Bolon. I really trained for a long time under Bolon too. Inside the Carson Gracie, and then him is a more and more battle game. And then I have Carson Gracie.
Really? Guard?
Yeah, Bolon, yes. And then I have Marcelo Alonso that I training for him is more about finish. It's not too much about points or he wants. And I have opportunity to train with different styles that are kind of building my own style right now.
And so your style has a mixture of those things.
Yes.
How do you you said you like to teach fundamentals. That's where you came from, was learning the fundamentals and then moving to, the next step. What's the best way? Would you say drilling is a big part of that? A lot of people believe in drilling, and a lot of people believe in mat time.
Yeah, I think it's again, like for me, my game is a combination. I think it's to getting better in in jiu-jitsu is a combination of drilling, just working at basic positions, drilling. The other day, I even posted a little bit of kind of funny, like drilling is not to make you a dancer. Drilling is to make your time better. Is make your positions getting with changes, directions faster. It's not about just, you see a lot of people doing drills and then after when they fight, they do so many movements, they don't finish the movement.
So they move as if they're drilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like they don't drill to finish in better position. They don't drill to make the time faster and get the stuff done better. They just drill as exercise, and then if they make the same thing when they compete. Sometimes.
Yeah, because your body's going to do what your body did.
Yes.
Right?
And I think that drilling is important for two things. Like you drill to get a time better, to adjust the angles, to adjust grips better. It's not just for moving and moving and moving. Every
You
time
say
you
adjust
do,
grips. What do you mean by that? Like like transitioning from one grip to
yeah,
another
so like if
grip?
you do a guard pass and then I push the leg, right away this hand need to go to the lapel, or I need to push the shoulder down, and all this, and close the space. And then I think when you drill, is this, is make the position from A to B to C, all movements be there with more accurate, and be able to apply as fast as possible.
Crisp.
Yes.
More
sharp.
crisp.
Make sharp. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, don't just do it because I'm just drilling and throw it in there.
And you see a lot of guys like the doing drills, and then they go for tournaments. They almost pass, and because they drill so much, they step or do an extra step, and then get them back in the guard. And almost pass again, and do an extra step, and back in the guard again.
So drilling, kid, you can over drill.
Yes.
If you're not doing it correctly.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so now this is something. There's two questions here. Your style obviously had to have been. You're a smaller person, so it had to have been very technical. I would imagine.
Yes,
so you're very aware of that sharp technique. That and drilling. So as you get older and you're still competing,
Yes,
that's great, man. Does drilling have more or less of a place in what you do now?
I think more, because as older you get, sometimes you lose speed, and with drilling, like I said, you can keep up.
Tighten up those gaps.
And keep it up with the speed too. And then one thing I do too, I train a lot of young kids, because I think it's important to, you don't have the same speed, but you need to try to get as close as possible with that speed. And you see a lot of guys maybe getting older, they want to train for these kids because they maybe they think it's too fast or they're too aggressive. But if you want to keep in a high level, you need to keep challenging yourself.
Yeah.
And then I put myself to train the young kids, and I'm sure that I don't have the same speed.
When you say young kids, you're referring to 20s.
20s, yeah.
Okay,
25,
so now we're not talking children. We're talking athletic young people that are moving.
We see like the kids today, like kids.
Yeah,
kids, like
no, 20, same,
20 years old, like they have so much, they drill so much, and once they drill right, you see like in seconds from the guard already in your side control and already to the position that can go to your back or finish you, and then you need to try to keep it up. I always bring people to teach your seminars in my school, or I stay a little bit. Pimenta from GF came, Ítalo came, and then when they came, they passed me about 2-3 years coming for Pan Ams or World Championship that was coming, doing camps in my gym, and then helped me a lot because the speed they have, the time they have is totally different than I was dealing before.
Yeah.
But what with that make my game better.
Yeah, because you have
my time better.
Yeah, you have to feel that speed. And
how I can shut the thing down. What I need to do as grip position that I start working more lapels to shut them down and slow them a little bit. Then help in my game.
See, I think you just answered my next question, which was as you lose a little time, because as we get older we lose a little bit of speed. As we lose that speed, how has that changed your game? And you just said, I think you now have to learn little tricks, not tricks, but you have to learn a different approach to each grip, each thing, to be able to slow down the speed of the opponent.
Yes.
And so I wouldn't say it's a defensive thing.
No,
you're not fighting defensively. You're just fighting offensively with a different shield.
I call theirs like old man style.
Right? Yeah.
Like that when you guard pass, you want to make sure you have really good controls on the hips, that you use your body weight and pressure to avoid the movements. The same thing if you play battle, and then you're going to use more holding the lapel, using the lapel to kind of slow them down, that you can play a little bit. You got to give you time to do other stuff too, And then, and that's the reason I keep training for I call kids again.
Yeah.
I try to do the 20s, and then to be able, if I can, slow them down, if I can, using these different things, and that make your game growing too.
Yeah.
And even it can help the other people too. These 20s, like maybe you fight this guy. If you do this, maybe you can slow him down. Now you have time to do your thing too.
Yeah, which you have so much more experience. Maybe you have something he can't defend.
Yeah, one time
show him.
We do a lot in the gym too is study jiu-jitsu. And then every Tuesday and Thursday I have my first black belt, my second black belt, my third black belt for me now in Vero. They come every Tuesday and Thursday teaching.
In Vero Beach, Florida?
Yeah.
That's where your main academy
is?
Yes. You live there?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have the guy, my second black belt, they live in Port St. Lucie. That's 25 minutes away. The other one live like 20 minutes away. We all Tuesday and Thursday we got it together and we study positions, study jiu-jitsu. And from this position, I like to do this. What do you like to do? And then you have the 20s that they do other things. Oh, he does this. What I can do to stop this? Or how I can add, maybe to add him in something in his game. They always study. Every Tuesday and Thursday we study jiu-jitsu. We're not just training or drilling. You're still learning. That's the other day I post something about you is you're always going to be a white belt. Always have room to improve. Always have something to learn. You know? That's the beauty in jiu-jitsu too. You never finish learning.
I love that philosophy. I was a mechanic when I was 19, 20, and a friend of mine was like a older guy. He was a heavy line mechanic and had been doing it 30 years. And he said to me, you need to go to the city college. They have these automotive repair classes. Basics. Go to the basics class. I was like, okay. So I went there, and he was there. And I was like, what are you doing here? And he goes, I can always learn something new. He was at a basic automotive repair class at 30 years in. And that was his philosophy. And he was the best mechanic we had. And so I always took that with me. When I started jiu-jitsu, I felt the same way. And that's cool, man. And you always know the top guys, you guys have that mentality, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of people now, because things move so fast with sport jiu-jitsu, that we're moving away from that a little bit. We get caught up in the new thing, which brings me to my main next question. You mentioned Pimenta, and I think he's a leg guy a lot, right? That has a lot of leg game, doesn't he?
He has a lot of, like, his game is a lot of depend. Again, we study opponents too.
Right.
And then he depends what kind of game, what person he's going to fight.
Okay.
He has a lot of guys that he play top.
Okay.
Because he has a really nice takedown fireman carry.
Yeah.
And he does that a lot. And then he's play top, and he's mixing too. And then I think he's the
legs is my question.
Yeah.
So early on, did you guys just not study legs when you were younger, leg locks and that kind of thing, or was it part of the game, or is it now part of your game?
Like the Carson Gracie, we work in leg locks a lot because we have a lot of bases on MMA too. They did a lot of guys fighting. And then we did a lot of like heel hooks.
So the high stand grappling influence of the leg locks and sambo and all that was coming in already.
Well, of course, like we not work like now because you see a lot of more leg locks, and when they had different tournaments that not IBJJF allowed heel hooks and other things, and then brought a lot of sambo stuff, a lot of to jiu-jitsu.
The Armenian influence of right.
And I think my thinking about jiu-jitsu, I think at the black belt level, they should let attack the heel, because you're black belt. You're the top of the belt rank that you need to know how to defend.
Well, they do in some though, right? But
and they have other tournaments too, like the Fight to Win or other tournaments. They allow all the movements. Have Eddie Bravo do a lot of those events right now. You can do, and I think it's important to black belt know.
Yeah.
Defend the heel. Defend whatever kind of
thing.
Know how attack, how defend, and then stuff like that.
So that being said, they've made advancements in leg locking and leg game, right? There's a lot of advancements. Yes. So you still competing. What is your approach to that? Are you a student of that game, or is there a way to just kind of shut that side down, or how do you
like I said, we always study, and then we need to know both sides. Yeah. I like to work on the leg locks to know the movements, plus as much as you know the movement, more you know about how you're going to try to defend.
Yeah.
And then I have my games pretty much I try avoid, and then I have one kind of the system that I use to not be there. And I was even talking
to not be there available for it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I was talking to the kids here on Thursday. Did a no-gi class. And
when
a lot
you
of
say
those
kids this time, you mean children.
Again? No,
yeah, 20s.
Again 20s. You know?
Everybody's a kid.
Yeah, about 50 years old for me. All those 20s are kids for me. But we talk about this in the new game. The way they pass, the way they do guard stuff. Always the legs involved. Yeah. And then how avoid to get your legs there, maybe working a double underpass, one overpass, and my legs always back, not involved in the...
Yeah. Yeah, I trained under Mario Aiello for a long time, and he was a lot of pressure, a lot of, you know him. Did you ever train with him?
No, not train with him, but he's a big friend.
I really like him. He's a friendly guy. Yeah, a really great guy. But has a similar, I would say, I guess he was more Hickson, and he trained under Hickson and Hoyler. But I felt like of all the people that I trained with, the Carlson guys were most like his style of fundamental pressure. Maybe it's body type because he is a shorter guy. Yeah. But he would keep his legs away a lot. He wasn't giving you his legs, and if he did, you couldn't catch him. Yeah,
and I think they always have this debate too: new generation, old school, you know. And then I don't think is old school or new school. I think that the jiu-jitsu is one thing.
It's just growing all the time. It's a moving, living thing.
And I think that the difference between old school and new school, I think we, or most of the people trained at that time, was looking more for submission. Now people play more points system.
Oh, well, it was sport jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So there was a big block where it was sport jiu-jitsu, but now that submission fight is coming back, isn't it?
Yes. And then I think it's kind of bring back, though all those events is fight to win, or all those events is submission only.
Yeah.
I think bring that back. And the other day I was watching the podcast show from Flow Grappling talk about this, how people cannot, maybe they train too much IBJJF and they cannot change for submission only, and sometimes they think they win and they lose because they not think about the rules.
Yeah.
Because in all those events, if you attack, they're going to count more than if you try pass.
Yeah.
And then, I tried pass, I almost got on the side 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
but the guy was in your foot 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, he was attacking you. You weren't.
Yeah. And then
you were just drilling.
One thing I always tell my students too is martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever martial art it is, was designed to work as a submission or knock the person out, not to play points.
Yeah.
Points is on the way that you're going to go for submission. And if you got pass, go for a mount, you're going to make points, but you not look for the points. You look for finish.
Yeah.
That was a try pass for my students, dude. Don't think just about points. Points is part of. Of course, if you just have 30 seconds on the clock and you win by 1 advantage, of course you're going to see it right there.
Yeah.
But if you see my fights in the fight to win, that you're looking for is submission only. It's the last 30 seconds. If I'm didn't finish yet, I'm still looking for find a way to tap the guy out, and then have a couple fights that I did. I finished the guys the last 30 seconds, 40 seconds. That on scoreboard, I already had the advantage, but I'm still looking for finish because the tournament is submission only. And then not because I have some stuffs going on that, I think I already win. I always keep looking for submission.
Yeah. And that is the way things are headed now, because if it's going to be a spectator sport of any kind, it has to have that element of excitement. Yeah, for sure. It can't just be laying back and counting points.
Yeah, and you see, like, right now changed a little bit, but a couple of years ago when the beating bowler start, you see people sitting there for 8 minutes, and then the last minute come up for advantage, you know? And then it's good they change the rules because it started getting boring.
Yeah.
People watch,
and it was just getting momentum. And then all of a sudden it got boring and everybody went, oh no, nobody's going to watch.
Yeah, exactly. People was just sitting there and waiting for the last 30 seconds to come up, get advantage or get 2 points. And then.
So if this is truly the fundamental kind of like, the points are directed toward learning how to get to a finish of a fight, right? That's really how jiu-jitsu was originally designed. So that being said, it was for MMA. Like it really worked for MMA better then than it did in the middle. And then now I feel like jiu-jitsu's coming back with MMA a little bit. Like you have to have a stronger jiu-jitsu game. You fought MMA in what year was it? 12 or?
I fought for about. My first fight was 2004
in Ohio.
Yeah, 2004. My first fight there, and I started. 2004 was like 14 years ago.
And
I was 36 years old.
Was that a dream of yours to do MMA?
No, that's a funny story too. Because I was in Carson Gracie one day there, and then I was black belt already, and then I was sitting in his office and we was talking, and he's like, "No, look, for you really black belt, you need to step on the ring at least one time, and then you know what it is to be there, you know." And then I have that in the back of my mind. And when I came to U.S., I was training the American Top Team. I was prepared to go to teach in Kentucky. And then the guy offered me, I have this fight for you. And then it's like, that came to my mind, I need to do at least one. I was training people, but like, I want to have the experience to be there one time. And after I did another 7 fights, you know. But I have that in the back of my mind. Carson said, like, you need to do at least one. Yeah, and then it was an opportunity, you know.
Yeah, and you did it. Yeah.
It was 155, and I fought in 155. Probably the guy was 170.
Oh, man. You didn't cut weight or anything.
No, it's the right
went and had lunch and then fought.
And then it was the first fight, and then still have a little think about a lot of jiu-jitsu. I got good positions. Like I throw a couple punches in the guard. The guy was wrestling, putting me down. And there's another thing. She was like, oh, no, the guy's like to do a little wrestling. No background jiu-jitsu. The guy was all-American wrestling.
Oh, wow. He was a real wrestler.
And then put me, but he was he has the wrestling mentality. I have jiu-jitsu mentality. He put me down. He didn't throw too much punches. I was on the floor attacking, throwing more punches, and the fight was just 3 minutes rounds. And then I think it has more time. I could work more. Yeah. Because in the first round, I finished with calf slices, but the time is going. Yeah. I did a transition from triangle to omoplata to calf slicing.
Nice.
And then if I have at least maybe one more minute, maybe I couldn't finish that fight, but it was a good experience.
Oh, wow, what a good experience.
After that, I decided to do more. I did a couple more fights.
You did a couple more?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. You did?
Yeah, I fought Mike Brown
Wow,
for the
man.
title in the AFC Tour Defense. I fought Imanari in Japan.
Wow,
yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so you got kind of hooked on it.
Yes.
But then now you had a personal tragedy in your family where you had to go and help. So you had to stop doing that and go back to Brazil to help your mom?
Yeah,
Is
like
that right?
when I beginning, when I came to US, and actually was before I started fighting. And then my father passed away. And I went there, helped my mom, and then I stuck in Brazil for a little while for the paperwork, came back, and then after I started fighting. But
Well, you went to go help your mom when your father passed. Did you bring her back with you, or did she stay?
no, she stayed, and then she passed a couple of years later because like
I'm sorry.
it's not like when the connect, you know, like my father passed away, and then she
yeah.
kind of have the missing link.
Yeah. How long
Yeah,
were they
she-
married?
50 years, over 50 years,
yeah.
and then they have the missing link, and then she start kind of give up on herself, and then it happened a lot too, you know,
Yeah.
with family when they because they work together.
They did?
Yeah, they
What
like
did
when
they have? What
my
kind of business?
mom put my father to be in the it was a national road thing, like a national government thing. They work inside.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh,
my
roads.
mom got him a job inside there.
Oh, really?
Yes, DNR, his Department of Road in Brazil.
So how many years were they working together?
Oh, over 35
Wow,
years.
so
And
they
then it's
were
like
together.
a morning together, going to work, come back to lunch, go to work for years.
And they
then-
learn that rhythm of kindness and being That's tricky to be together all the time, but if
Yes.
you can learn it, then it's the most rewarding.
And then they raised me and my sister too, like really well. It's like
Just the two of you?
yeah, raising me not to be as with them. They raised you to go out, do your thing, you know.
Yeah?
Then we always I moved to Curitiba as in '96.
Yeah.
Started gym there, and then I met the guy that brought me to US. But they never like kind of we need to be around us. We need to do this. They kind of we're
They
gonna
didn't-
give the opportunity to learning.
Yeah.
And then you can do whatever you do. Like we travel a lot, meet a lot of different culture, education. They gave everything, all tools for like after is you. You know, they did like, oh, now you need to get out of my house. You stay here, but now you have the
But
tools
this is
to
your responsibility. They taught you
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah, since a young age. Like we have I remember when I was 12, 8 years old, they give us every week money. Look, this is the money for your week. You need to manage this money. If you spend everything today and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, you don't have money for the rest of your week. Then stuff. I think it was good for learning deal with money,
Yeah.
manager stuff like this, and it was.
How to manage your life.
Yes.
Yeah. So was your father, what little piece of wisdom that you remember the most did he give you?
In order to me and my sister was adopted, like they went
Really?
there, yeah, they went there to, and then that's the thing that I bring with me, like they couldn't not have kids, they couldn't choose another one, they choose me, and then that's stuff that I want to give back to others too, that's we always working on giving back and stuff like this too. Almost like the people come to my gym as my family and try help them inside the gym, outside the gym. And then I think that the big thing they gave me is like this side of be kind for others,
Yeah, to think outside of yourself.
And it's like we always we see poor people and they always like doesn't have a difference between. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor.
Yeah.
If you have a nice house or live in the chat, you all the same. Everybody's the same.
You just did something recently you were telling me about. Tell me about that. You were in Honduras?
Yeah, I went to Nicaragua.
Nicaragua,
we have a project in Honduras too, but I went to Nicaragua from the church too. We have a whole project international. Guys can check it out. They do amazing things.
Say what it is. What is it?
Whole Project International.
Whole Project International, like .com? Is that
Yeah,
how you find it?
.com,
Okay.
and they have a Facebook too.
Whole Project? WHOLE?
Yes,
Okay.
Hope Project.
Oh, Hope Project. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we went there, and first time was supposed to be me and the people from the church. And I asked, can bring people from Jiu-Jitsu, from my gym, to go there and help? And they say, oh, yes. If you have this amount of people, 8 people, we're going to be able to build in 6 houses. And then
That's what you were doing? You were building houses for people who are in need?
And it's not a house, it's like a place to stay. And it's like almost a room.
Yeah.
But there, people live in shacks, like dirt on the floor.
Dirt on the floor. And that's what you were saying, is once you put concrete on, give them a concrete floor, what happens?
I'll change the mortality for kids drop like 50%.
Jeez, that is enormous. And that's like, that's a tangible difference you can make, right?
And they did already 103 houses in this community. And we already set up for next year, going to be there in September again. But, and it's something that we think, oh, you go there and then change these people's life, but it's all the way around, like change us.
Yes. So you said you're 50-ish, right? I'm 47. And the older I get, the more I think like this, and I try to get my kids on board with that. Were you thinking outside yourself and doing these things when you were younger, or did it shift more?
Like I said, my father always, like I said, like doesn't have a different. You know, I remember today, like when I probably was 8 years old, we seen in the restaurant to eat. And you see like parents, like a little kid, younger than me, outside, and you know they when I ask for food or ask for money, and I get on my plate and went there. And I think that they as my parents already raised me that way.
They instilled
to
that
be kind, you know. Yeah.
And you drew to it as well. That was also because you were a recipient of that kindness, being somebody who was adopted.
Yeah, and then I have a friends when they were living in my neighborhood. They have a place like not ghetto, but it was like a little port area on the other side from my neighborhood. It does have a river, but they come and they play for us. They come to my house. Like my parents, like doesn't have a difference between anybody. You know, it doesn't matter if they have money or not. Yeah. You are the same. You know, because when you're dead, you don't want to bring anything with you. You know.
Yeah.
And then I always have this stuff to try help others. I brought a lot of people to West to start a gym, and then I gave opportunity to them. And I have this on the gym right now. Have this stuff that we try help the whole project. I have this project we have in Honduras that we help kids that are involved with gangs or parent abuse. And now we get an orphanage that will bring people in, the kids from 4 to 8 years old to train in jiu-jitsu for us there too. They will send geese to them. We just raised $1,000 last week. Yeah. In my seminar, we sent to them to
help them get gis and the things they need.
Yes.
So, what have you seen? Do you have actual numbers on like how many people have like? I mean, you got to be keeping track of this, right? Like how many stay with it and what a difference it makes. Because I'm certain that makes a huge difference.
And like the one story for those kids, we have about 20 kids in the program. Yeah. That from 12 to 17, 18, and one kid that started for us 4 years ago. Last year he graduated, and then he went to the college now. And then it's nice to see the kid that was involved with gangs, involved with maybe having bad parents. He was able to come, learning, go to school, and
it gave him something like a foundation. Because it's like sometimes, and people don't get this if they haven't grown up this way. Sometimes you just don't have another choice. You don't have a straight and narrow choice. You don't have a positive choice. You only have the negative choice. And so to show up and just do what you can, you become the other choice they can make. Yes. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be somebody. An effort, right?
It's giving directions. You know, a lot of people that maybe doesn't have the parents doesn't give direction, and sometimes it's not the parents' fault. You know, they need to provide so much stuff outside to bring in. They don't have time to give them maybe directions, or you have this path here that you can go. You're gonna have a better life, or it's life. You know, like people live in the areas that the whole area is involved with gangs and stuff like this, and maybe the parents was raised by be abused by the parents or by violence inside the house, you know, and then they don't know what it is the other side. Yeah. This guy in Honduras, he pretty much adopted these kids that were 7 years old. That the whole family was living in the street. Yeah. And then what are they gonna learn in the street? They're gonna learn what survive in the street. Yeah. Then survive is like maybe
kids learn fast.
Try go to the trash can and find food, or maybe just steal a little bit here, steal a little bit there. It's a survival mode, you know?
And then they become that guy who lives on the street,
And then he brought this kid. He's already with him for 3 years, and sometimes he go back there because in the back of the mind, he still know how he was surviving, kind of survival mode. And the other day, he catch like it was stealing a little bit of money from him, and then we need to kind of guide him again, you know? Like, I gave this opportunity. You have a great opportunity to be going the right direction. This is not the right way. And then it's always about teaching and give them the right path to follow. You know?
And the fundamental thing is integrity, principles, that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes.
I feel like in today's world, the problems that we're having politically, especially, it's all about integrity and principles. If you have principles, but you don't live by all of them, that's where we get our problems, right? If you have these hard and fast principles, you should live by them even when it's hard, because that's the time that it counts.
And it's like the one thing you always talk, like, people do mistakes, you know?
Right.
Mistakes, you know, but you're not going to do mistake, know is wrong, and do it again.
Yeah.
You know, the idea is always like we always talk about the mat. Same way you on the mat, you're looking for be white to blue to purple. You need to have the same kind of mindset in your life too. Always to improve as a father, as a business owner, as a friend, in your job. Have that mindset. You always can improve. Always can make better. Always can be better. And then you always have the kind of try-pass for the students that it's good to be white to black in the mat, but more important, be black belt outside the mat.
That's the most fundamental thing. What would you say if you had one message to everybody in your affiliates? Like, what would it be? Would it from Renato Tavares, like to the rule of life? Like, what is that?
Yeah, it's like it's enjoy the lifestyle. Enjoy the journey. You know, like jiu-jitsu journey is not easy.
No, man.
You know, like and if you go to the jiu-jitsu gyms that take stuff serious, you're gonna take a long time to get your belt. You know, it can be your blue belt, purple belt, because we don't give belts. You need to earn it. You know, and then each step you do from blue to purple, and then you're gonna looking for more stuff from you. It's not just the technique. You look the way you behave. You look the way you inspire others.
Yeah.
You know, and then each level is you're looking for something else. And then you're going to start help others in the gym. When you're in the purple belt level, you already can be kind of helping instructor. In the brown belt, you're one step before the black belt. And then you're always looking for this, you inspire others. You be example for others, you know, to be followed. And then it's super important, like when in jiu-jitsu and in life too, looking everything, all aspects of your life, how we can improve as a person, as an instructor, inside your marriage. Now I have a daughter. My first kid is 2 years old.
No way, now?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. and then that changed, you know, like, because the way I think was before was me and my wife, how gonna be my future. Now I need to think about the future of my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
It's always, you know, we always have something that we can make better, improve. And then I think the message is like looking at everything in your life and separate stuff and see how we can make better in each part of your life. You know?
So you do a lot of stuff, man. You do seminars. You still compete.
Yes.
You're doing these charity projects.
Yes.
So you travel. You have a 2-year-old daughter. How does that play into your life? Is it difficult? Do you bring her with? Is it something you have to deal with now?
Yeah, and it's always you need to kind of try and manage your schedule too. And it's a lot of things because we open new schools, and then we need to help those guys grow in the school too.
You have to be there for a minute.
Yeah, and then
how many affiliates do you have?
We have about 26 schools.
Wow.
And then and have guys that I help open the school, and then they kind of part on the school too, partner, and it's a lot of things. And is during the week, you know, they kind of almost like set your schedule this week. This hour gonna be for this and that, and plus I try separate from 1:30 to 4:30 every day to be with my daughter. You know, be able to.
Really?
Yeah.
You schedule her in.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
it's
cool.
like be home,
So
and my wife can do something too, because not for my wife's 24/7.
Yeah.
And then she has time for herself.
Oh
too.
yeah, and she needs that time. That's good, man, because a lot of people don't do that where they schedule time for their family. So yeah, that's a really nice message.
Of course, we sometimes you put something between, but I try not.
I know.
It's almost like I turn my phone off, and of course I have something important to do for others, like from the gym or something. I go get a little call, a little message, but that time from 1:30 to 7:30 to 4:30 is separate for them. And when I get home about 8:30, 9 o'clock, all the way to go to sleep is for my wife and for her too. And then I try, because, you know, like the life is crazy right now. If you let the life take your whatever, you don't have life. You know,
yeah,
you don't
if you're
have time
successful, it gets more and more crazy, and you have to manage it so that you can stay successful.
Then
in your
it's important
personal
to
life.
schedule, you know, schedule stuff, and then have separate hours for what you're going to take care of your association business, maybe your school business. But it's super important, like I said, it's balancing life your family is part of that.
Yeah.
You know, and my daughter, I need to give her direction. I need to help her. Then probably next year she's gonna start being a mat too. You know.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you. You're gonna teach her jiu-jitsu.
Yes,
Yeah. All right.
Not
Early,
if
right?
Yeah.
What's the best age to start them?
3, 4 years old,
Yeah.
depending how mature. If you already have contact with jiu-jitsu, for me next year, I'm gonna try to be around 3 years old. And I was talking to people yesterday too. Jiu-jitsu for my daughter, and I think it's important for other parents too, need to be part of almost like a school curriculum.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's school curriculum. You need to be, for my daughter, from whatever she need to be at least a blue belt.
Yeah.
Because she starts young age and be a blue belt, I know she can defend herself.
Yeah.
And then jiu-jitsu is going to be part of her school curriculum.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to. Sorry, but this is your school curriculum.
You're doing this.
You're doing this.
So even if, I feel like I struggle with that a little bit with my kids because in the modern age that we're in. How do you feel about that technology? It's kind of a plus and a minus, right?
Yes,
it gets in the way a
they
little.
they need learning, but I think like same thing I have a schedule for my things. They need to have a schedule.
Okay, so you teach them that. Yeah.
And it's good right now. My daughter really like to be outside.
Yeah.
I get her home and she's like, oh, let's go to, and she called Quartinho, is that her room?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
go there and play her stuffs and play
yeah.
for her. And it's good, like she's not attached for any stuffs yet. She want to watch cartoons, stuff like this. She like the music. She like to listen, but she's not attached. And I don't want to be that stuff be.
Where you just let the TV babysit her.
That's a lot of parents does too. You know, give
Yeah.
the phone to kind of, I'm gonna give the phone and then I can do this, I can do that. I think that's bad. You know, because it's gonna make your kid be on that direction that in the future, like, no, I don't want to be. I don't want to socialize because it's too much. Like no social media stuff like this. And need a. I think it's about balance, and then jiu-jitsu is all about balance.
That's the life lesson we learn from jiu-jitsu. Would you say that's the big thing is balance?
Yes.
Yeah, all the lessons that you learn while you're on the mat, the little things, you apply them generally over your life, and your life gets better.
Yeah, and then it's you always sometimes you go up here and then it's kind of regroup and.
All right, there's people showing up for your seminar, and I don't want them to have to sit out in the cold, so I want to wrap it up. But I want to do this for hours. You're enjoyable to talk to, really fun.
Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, well, man, same here. And if you could give anybody in your family that doesn't have jiu-jitsu, who would it be and why?
So I can't give jiu-jitsu.
If anybody in your family, if you could make them a black belt and give them all the life lessons that they've learned along the way, instantly in your family, living or gone, who would it be and why?
My sister, you know, and for the future for my daughter, but my sister, I think it could help her a lot in life too, you know.
Yeah.
And my wife leave a little bit, but it's kind of that is not inside the mat, and she understand, but not. You know,
she doesn't train with you?
No.
Okay.
But maybe now for my daughter, I can start push her.
We're always trying to get the other ones in there. Yeah.
I think it's good for the family to be together and maybe do something together.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Well, I live in Savannah, Georgia, and I'm gonna come down to Vero and hang out with you again.
For sure,
we'll do this again.
Yes,
Is that cool?
Yes.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. All right. So where do they find you? Tell the social media people where to find you.
Yeah, I'm in Vero Beach, Florida, and then we have the Facebook. We have the Renato Tavares BJJ.
Okay.
And Instagram, they have Renato Tavares 1.
Okay.
Renato Tavares 1. Yes, Instagram. Yes.
This is your profesh. That's you.
Master,
and,
yes.
Master
Carlson,
yeah.
yes.
And then I have this is a picture of you fighting.
Yes.
Man.
That was tore my biceps.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
First round tore my biceps. That wasn't good. Good the end of the fight.
First round, you fought the whole thing.
Yeah. Wow. I tore my biceps like in the middle of the fight. And I was able to go to the end. But
did you get that surgically replaced or repaired or
no? It was just a small piece, but I couldn't move my arm at all.
It just tore something. Yeah.
Professor Pete.
And this is where we are right here, man.
Sir.
We're at Triton Fight Center. That's what they're seeing right now. So, Professor Pete, come here, man. Come say hi. Come say hi. So this is our dude. We love him. There he is.
Just not enough room for this right here.
Look at that mug. So this cat right here, talk about helping people. Is it a year or what do they get when they come? Law enforcement and
here at the Triton Fight Center, what we do is any military veteran that is, and we have a little homage here, pay respect to our fallen soldiers. But any of our military veterans that is 80% to 100% disabled, we let them train for free. And that's as long as I'm here running this place, they get to train for free. And hopefully if I pass this on to somebody else, that they will continue with that mindset. We also have a law enforcement Blue Line program. So we have cops that are a little bit not as financially equipped as they they should be.
They should be.
They don't get paid enough.
Nope.
We also have a program where we allow our police officers to come here and train for free as well. So the only thing that they pay is for the uniform, which is they can provide their own jiu-jitsu uniform, or they can purchase one from us, but that is their only cost, and that's a lifetime membership.
Here's what I think. I think we need data on the influence that has, or the somebody should study this and see how many people have been able to almost fully recover from PTSD upon arriving back from that experience because of this fraternal feeling of being in the family of jiu-jitsu, or having a place to, like, a community, right?
Well, I am living proof.
Yeah, man. For sure you are. Your story was rough.
And a lot of people think that it's just military veterans that have PTSD, but there's rape victims. There's people that were molested, treated poorly, and you don't even necessarily have to be raped or whatever, but it's significant trauma. But a lot of people relate significant trauma to just our veterans, but our law enforcement people that are out there every night protecting and serving, they may witness things out there, a loss of a fallen man or woman in blue. Firefighters may go into a fire, they pull out a baby that the skin is melted off from the fire. So that right there is trauma that is in your head. When you wake up in the morning, when you go to sleep, it is always there. So
how does it help being here?
It is a place to forget about all that, because when you're not worried about you're not worried about anything mentally other than somebody whipping a choke on you. That would never happen.
But also,
it's the other way around.
Also, I would argue that that the benefit is that you're in a community of people that have a common understanding of that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're with other people that you can look in their eye. You don't need to say it. You just feel that.
And having a lot of veterans here already now that have either been through that, or they have a comrade that's been through it, they definitely look out for one another on the mat. They're like, man, this guy's having a little bit of a rough day. Let me pull him off to the side. Let me show him a little bit extra mat love,
Yeah.
And
mat love.
And
that's why I'm here.
What? But no, it's great. It's a good way to bond, and for one another to have one another's six, have one another's back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right on. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right on. And thank you.
I'm going to take advantage of this. One more time.
Before he gets killed.